And it's Gordo here from Gordo's Games, bringing you some more Digimon TCG content. So this is my first video of BT4. I spent a lot of time doing deck profiles towards the end of BT4, so I took a little bit of a break to try and recoup all the thoughts that were running through my head, and I've spent some time doing some BT4 deck lists. So I'm going to be sharing a few throughout the next coming weeks, just my take on what I think would be good. I've play tested some of them, and I will do some content with some of these deck lists as well, just so you can see them, and I will take them to some of my locals so you can see them as well. So just hopefully you like it. Let's see what new things and new spice bring to BT4. But if you do like my content, as normal, thank you here from Gordo's Games, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications to let you know when my content goes live for you. So we're going to get into the profile. And here we are again. The faithful setup. Just move good old mousey out of the way. We're going to start with the Digi-Eggs. And we are running 4 Digimon. I'm not going to bore you with details on how many deck profiles you've seen as to why I play this card. Makes sense. We want to run a 1 of Paramon. A 1 of? Can't get words out. A 1 of Paramon. Just because. Just because. I didn't want a Caramon. I just wanted a Paramon. That was simply it. You can run whatever you want in this space. But this can come off occasionally. So I'm trying it. There's Digi-Eggs. We're on 5. Pretty standard. Pretty standard lineup so far. Alright, we're going into the level 3s. Those big old rookies. The start and finish of our deck. The piece de resistance. We go. 2 mono. It's vanilla, it's cheap, it's a 2 cost, it's there to round out our rookies. I'd run more of this, but I'm trying to make the most out of the cards I've got, because I'm finding there's too many cards with good effects and useful things to really add to the deck. So we run 2 of. One of the key pieces itself is the Promo Agumon. 4 of. With how the top end of this deck works, as you may know, this is essential. Gives you that big body buff so you can push for damage and not be hit by the repercussion of like crashing at 11 or 12 or whatever it may be. You're getting an extra 2k buff, so you're potentially 13 to 14. So it's worthwhile, definitely. Same principle, less impact but more general. Agumon. It means you're anything before your actual big stacks with the Greymons and that get the buff as well. Because we only won 1 level 4 Greymon. Apart from that, everything else is pretty much standard except for the top line. So I run that for the general buff, and it does a good amount of work. We do run Digiburst. I run a 4 of the Agumon Digiburst. I'm considering dropping this to 3. I might just make an extra mono so I can round things out there. But at the moment, because we do run Digiburst within the deck, it can come off just to help stack your hand back up with some level 3s. So as you can see there, we are running 14. Good solid number. We want to make sure we're seeing the rookies. 14 always seems to be a good amount. Going on to level 4s. Alright. So standard. We run blockers in this deck. I have seen the concept now with red decks, whereas they're not looking to run blockers because of the fact of I'm going to swing that many times in one go and as quick as possible. If I'm blocking, I'm losing. And I'm quoting one of my people from my server on that one, Blaine. Big shout out to you there. If you're blocking, you're losing. But it's true in aspect. So, but we run 4 because, well, I'm gonna guess I'm gonna lose and repeat. And then we run 3 Fugumon. Now I know Dark Tyrannomon is 6k, but I've always been a faithful believer in Numemon from Black, for the fact it's a 3 cost, 1 cost to evolve. So it's still a cheap evolve. Yes, it's not got the big body, but I don't really want to swing on my level 4s anyway. Not overall. So being able to give myself an extra 3 rookies, technically, it's like it's a great little piece. I'm happy with that. I run 2 of a Goonimon. We run Tamers in this, so just stealing that extra swing at the end can pay off sometimes. So I'm running the 2 Goonimon just for that reason alone. And then we run a 2 of Greymon. Inheritance will give an extra security attack +1. So at the end of the day, the bigger bodies are pushing for that much more of a threat. So we're running a 2 of just for that reason. So as you can see there, we are running, it was 11, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just 11 champions. A little bit lower than I like to. Normally it's 12, but you know, we have to make some changes. Now this lineup here in the level 5 is not the most optimal. I am waiting on one card, so for the time being one is there in its place. So we run a 1 of Metal Greymon, 3k DP buff, for the simple reason, giving that out level 6s that extra big body. So if they are going for multiple checks, the only thing they're dying to is either going to be a Gaia Force or something along those lines. You're trying to make it so the deep security battles you're always going to win. We run a 3 of Groundmon, 5 cost to play, 2 cost to evolve. It's cheap, it's cheerful, it does a great job. Yeah, it's just a good card. I mean, if you wanted to go with a 5 drop, because if you want to play it for the play cost more than the evolve cost, you can go the Vermillimon or something like that, which is like an 8k body, but it's 3 to digivolve, but it's only 5 to hard play. So that's a nice little piece. I know this is a piece here. I'm literally going to show it as it actually. I'm going to exclude the card. So at the moment it would be 4 Shinegrey. I have a Sylphimon in there at the moment. That is my proxy for it. But Shinegrey, hands down, I rate as severely good card. So red had a thing where it couldn't get the tamers out very easy. You had yellow had the Shinegrey to drop things down. Obviously, you got then the TK, you know, would allow you to stack your hands. So the fact is, you had more resource and you could do more with it, whereas you weren't getting as much impact with things. And Davis, you can add cards, but red, you threw down the tamer, and obviously, yeah, it reset you 3, but tie wasn't great. Obviously, you know, additional security attack's great, but you want something from it. Now that we have Marcus, where you can gain memory off the swings, that's an added bonus. And with this card, allowing you to play that out without passing your turn over is amazing, because you can actually do something on your turn and do something else on your turn. So you can go into your level 6 before, obviously, after you Digiburst, and then pass over turn, and then next time you're back up to 3 from the moment you're being down. And if they don't deal with that, if you have, for instance, something like an Omni Ultra S or a standard Omni, and they have a tamer down, you're not going to pay anything extra for that Omni to slam down on the board, which I'm great with. And then going back to the Poromon. When this has a tamer in play, your Herald is, if you have a tamer in play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Now it gives red access to some sort of reduction, which is very good indeed. It's also treated yellow, so I really like this card because the fact is I'm trying some red-yellow variants and that they will be coming up shortly. But yeah, it's probably one of my favourite cards of the set. So 4 Rise. I'm waiting on my 4th. Needs to hurry up. Okay, we're going on to the top end now. So the reason why we're trying the deck, the new red Shinegrey. Now, yes, a lot of people will turn around and say, "Why would you run this Shinegrey when there's just better options?" The yellow Shinegrey, for instance, which is still a good deck, still does very well. Might be a bit slow for this format now with the War Greymon yellow being a thing, but we make do. We try other things, and this one has a nice effect. So whenever a red or yellow tamer is suspended, this Digimon gains security attack +1. Now I have confirmed that it doesn't work with the yellow, because if you shine first and suspend everything, you only get security attack +1 because they trigger all at the same time. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know in the comments, but that's what I've been told, and it sounds about right, to be honest. But in red, it's Greymon. Marcus. No, really? Yes. You suspend the Marcus to gain a memory. So if you have 3 or 4, suspend all 4 Marcuses, gain 4 memory back, and you have security attack +4. You only have 5. Oh, that's all security. So let's go stack wise here. I mean, idealistically, you want this in it, but this one's just as good. But obviously, on the buff, so we'll go that. It doesn't really matter with the level 4s at this point. You just go the Greymon security attack if you don't have all the tamers down. And then we go for a promo Ogu. So that already there. 2, 5, 16k. Omnimon can't touch this. If you swing through security, you've got all the relevant tamers down, you are swinging for 16k with this. Potentially all checks. That is pretty massive and a pretty scary thing for a 3-cost Digivolve as well. No, it's not. It's obviously its effects require some setup. That's a fact. but they don't require the most setup, because the fact is you're doing a lot of stuff to get that anyway. You're throwing down tamers, you're going to be doing that anyway by the Shinegreymon. You know, it's not the most difficult thing to set up. So I like it. I'm trying it. I'm going to be testing it. Hoping it does well. But if not, we have backups. Now, I'm not sure the ratios of all these as of yet, but I've just gone on one-offs. And, okay, maybe I'm flexing some alts here for the sake of it. One of set one on War Grey. Set one on me. Set one War Grey. Doesn't activate option cards. I don't know if 2cc is going to be a thing as much. I know there's like a 2cc variant of Megazoo, which I'll do a list on at some stage as well. This is here to try and stop those things. If you can get the buffs under it as well, great. Just like this, you get to manage security check, so it sticks in the theme with it. So this is generally a good card. Always will be. And I mean, let's just be realistic. The ult is amazing. And then to round it out, we've gone for one Victory Grey. Yes, it was ult again. I like this card. My only problem is, depending on how the meta goes and how it changes, what things are going to be played more often and what things are going to basically rule the meta. If Megazoo becomes more of a thing again, this card is awful against Megazoo. There is absolutely no reason to have it against a Megazoo matchup, but we don't, we can't predict that. But everything else is, if you can get ahead of your opponent, say you're at 5 going into a 6, your opponent's got a 5 on the board, or a 5 and a 4, 5 and a 3, anything like that. Play this out. You can do it when passing turn, after passing turns as well, which is great. But Digiburst 2, you can delete an 8k DP or less. So Digiburst 2, and that clears their board then. That's a good amount of removal. So yeah, this is basically Red's version of Slash, obviously using delete rather than reduction. But if you get that with the Shinegreymon, if you manage to get a swing out before, with something else with the rise underneath it, lowers it by 2k, so it can potentially take out a 10k, which is good, because we're going to see more of those things, I believe, with the whole Megazoo things, puppets, magnets, and everything like that. So I do like this card, and the ult in itself is just nice. No ult shines here. I have a pre-release one, but yeah, that's going to stay where it is. Moving on to the other bits of tech. So we do run just the one of each. We'll go through them individually while I'm rushing. Set one on me. What more is there to say? If they go tall, take it out. If they go multiples of the same card, drop this. Happy days. If they go wide, slow them down a bit. Strip them of the resources. Clear part of their board. They're both very good in very different situation cards, and that's all good by me, because the fact is they're very nice cards and very good cards. Moving on to options and tamers. I did have a different split before, but I've gone with this now. For Marcus. Marcus is Red's best tamer. Giving you memory back really helps you push your turns that much more, with things like Blitz Greymon, because you can potentially swing with another Greymon, gain a memory back, go into the Blitz, digivolve something, you're taking their resource, or you can go into the Victory Greymon, stay on your turn, Digiburst, delete some stuff. You can look to extend your turns that much more, and the more you have, the better. And then obviously it works with the Shinegreymon, just being able to suspend itself and their individual triggers. This card is a set one card. It saw no play that I can think of. If there was ever a list, I don't think I ever came across it, but it saw. Just a one of. I did have it as a 2 of and 3 Marcus, but I think Marcus is just generally more useful. But when one of your red Digimon attacks a player, you may suspend this tamer to give that Digimon plus 2000 DP for the turn. So only if you attack directly at your opponent. So if you're attacking to a Digimon, you can't trigger this. But if you're swinging directly, suspend this, your Shinegreymon becomes at least 13k. And gets a secure attack off it. So it can come in handy just to give you that added boost. Like I said, it was 16k, the biggest stat we made. With that, 18k. And then if you've got the Marcus down, you're gaining a lot of memory off the back of it. Options. I'm not 100% sold on this card, but I like the value it gives you. And if it played at the right time, it can be quite crucial to your opponent. Trident Revolver. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less, then you may play one tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less from your hand without paying its memory cost. The idea of deleting one of their Digimon, so if you're playing against a red and they've got a, or anything like some of the cheap cost vanillas evolves, you can kill a level 5 potentially with this. At the minimum, you can kill a level 4. And then on top of that, you get a tamer to play out. So if you play out a Marcus, happy days. You know, you're getting absolute value there. Next time it comes back to you, you're reset to 3 regardless. So you've kind of earned that back. And then we run a 2 of Gaia Force. Gaia Force is still a stupidly strong card. It's the one you want to see in security, never the one you want to see in hand, but sometimes it can just come in clutch. So it's just strong. Can't say much else about it, can't say much for it. Nobody likes paying for the cost of this card, but I believe it's justified. It's justified in what it does. To most people, it may not be justified for being able to be played from security, but that's a completely different story. So that is my, let's say, tribal Greymon, War Greymon at the top end. You know, 4 shines, 1 set 1 War Grey, 1 Victory Grey. A couple of Omnis there is more of a tech piece. They don't actually need the Omnis in it, I don't think. You could just play either a couple more Gaia Forces, or you could play some more level 5 or 6s just to kind of round yourself out. But there it is. What I'll do is I'll show you some footage from the games with it. If you like it, by all means drop me a comment, let me know. If you think you've got any suggestions on how to change it, like I said, these early deck profiles are going to be making things as kind of projects for myself. So if you've got ideas, throw them at me. I'm more than happy to share, more than happy to test. I lay no claims that the decks I make them randomly. If people have done them before, so be it. At the end of the day, everything we're doing here is recycled when it comes to profiles. The Japanese have playtested this for us religiously, so I'm just hoping to try and learn my way and show and get some input from you all. So let's watch the videos. You tell me what you think, and if you do like the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications so when my content goes live for you. Alrighty, off we go to it.